Good afternoon and welcome to Reese Stadium. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon. The Yale Bulldogs are about to kick off a 1 p.m. game against the Cal Golden Bears. It is, like I said, a beautiful day, about 55 degrees outside. It looks like the Golden Bears have brought the good weather to us all the way from California. So we're really excited to be here. I'm Chrissy Chapman and this is Chloe Drimo.
Hello.
And the Bulldogs are now coming off, they have a 4-4 overall record, 4-1 in non-league gameplay. So it looks like this could be a promising game for the Bulldogs. On the other side, the Cal Golden Bears have a 5-3 total record and have won five out of the six last games that they've played. So, Chloe, what are we going to expect from Cal?
So Cal, their leading scorer is Takis. She's one of the captains. She's a senior, and she's a pretty awesome player. Last year, she missed her last 3 games due to ACL injury, and she still was voted Player of the Year in their conference. So she's leading the with 23 goals right now. She sort of seems to be the heart of the team and really gets everyone moving. And then we also so Cal plays a lot from behind the cage. We have a lot of assists, a lot of passing going on between Lavi and Humphrey, who sit behind the cage, and especially Lavi doesn't score a lot, but has a lot of assists. So that's the type of offense they've been playing, and we'll see kind of what happens today.
And we know that Cal actually has some pretty high-scoring games on their list. Overall in the season, they've had a few more goals than the Bulldogs, so they're pretty evenly matched up, but we have seen definitely there was a game in which Cal won with 20 goals, another game in which they won with 16, so definitely some high-scoring games for them.
Yeah, and they definitely mix it up between their passing, the assists, like I said, from behind the goal, but also a lot of drives, so they're very mixed offense.
So the Bulldogs now are coming off a 10-5 loss to Harvard. It was a tough loss during their spring break. They'd gone off to Penn, which they also had another loss that kind of broke their winning streak. So we did talk to the coaches a little bit before this game, and they sort of talked about what their approach is going to be in handling what you just talked about on the Cal side. What did they talk about and tell us?
Well, I mean, so we had the 3-game winning streak, and then we went into a 2-game. We're coming out of a 2-game losing streak, and basically these next 2 games are going to be really big for the Bulldogs. We have today against Cal and Sunday against Lehigh, and that could be a huge kind of momentum changer if we can win both these games going into our next IV on Saturday against Princeton. That could really help the Bulldogs mentally, and that's
Absolutely.
what we want today. And so I think they really want to come out with intensity as well as urgency, and the coaches really want the attack to get more creative and work together as a unit.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing. I was at the Harvard game last Saturday, and, the Bulldogs were clearly so athletic. They did a great job in transition. We've seen some really big improvements there on the transition side. They were fast in the transition. They connected really well. And clearly the last piece of the puzzle is going to be that attack. They were kind of lacking a little bit in the sense of urgency. They really think that possession is important. So now I think the biggest thing for them to work on is working on scoring there.
All right, well, we are going through the Bulldogs, the lineup right now, and we'll get back to the game soon.
So what they did talk about is, the starting lineup for Cal. We're going to get into that now. Is the goalkeeper is going to be Megan McGinnis. And then we're going to have on attack Alexa Roselle, Liz Lavi, Melissa Humphrey, and Megan Takis. And as we saw, those are some of the top scorers on the team, obviously people that the Bulldogs are going to need to watch out for. In the midfield for Cal, we have Amelia Burke, Paige Gasparino, Gabby Chrisman, and then on defensive side, we have Grace Parenti, Sarah Millick, Marissa O'Mealy, and Jacqueline Pelletier. And for the Bulldogs, we have Erin McMullen in goal. But now we're going to just take a quick break, and we'll continue with that after the national anthem. So if you are just joining us, you're watching Yale All Access. We are about to tune in on the Yale Bulldogs take on the Cal Bears in women's lacrosse. It is just about 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon, a beautiful day. I'm Chrissy Chapman here with Chloe Drimmel.
Hello.
And to continue with the starting lineup for the Bulldogs, we have Erin McMullen in goal, Carrie Fleischhacker, Devin Rhodes on attack, followed by Catherine Avalon, Erin Magnuson, Nicole Danagelis, Lauren Wackerly, Christina Doherty in the midfield, and then Callie Parchman, Kate Walker, Catherine Sherrill, and Adrian Tarver on defense.
We have a little bit of a problem. We have Kitty Sherrill down there with a nosebleed, trying to get herself situated with cotton balls up her nose right now, trying to get ready for the game, because that's what they're all about. Just just got to get ready, just got to do it.
So Chloe's fired up here today, ready to go, as am I.
We're gonna beat Cal. I can feel it.
And like I said before, it's been 17 days since the Bulldogs have been to Reese Stadium, where they were coming off a win from Sacred Heart, in which they won 15-9. So good kind of momentum at the home field today. We had lots of fans out there that last Saturday, so hopefully we see the same support out here today. And we do see a lot of actually Cal parents.
Yeah, because they're on the East Coast, and a lot of these girls are from the East Coast, because that's kind of where most of the lacrosse is being played right now. And so I'm sure it's very nice for these Cal players to get a lot of their parents out here, and they're probably not as used to it when they're playing their home games. And
you were just seeing on the screen Humphrey getting pretty fired up with her teammate out there. It looks like they're getting ready to play, and I think it will definitely be a good game today, a pretty even matchup, I think, based on the stats so far.
Yeah, so right here we have Takas with her, you can see her ACL knee brace, and she is their leading goal scorer and their captain, and kind of she leads the attack.
And I think it's pretty impressive to see that, she went down in the last few games of last season and was really able to come back and play such a prominent role on Cal's attack.
Yeah, very impressive. And from what we read, she worked really hard in her off season to really get that leg back and did not feel pushed from the coaches. So she just really got back there.
So the ball is about to go up. We have Nicole Danagelis taking the draw now.
Yeah. Now, Danagelis is a freshman, and she is the second leading goal scorer right now.
And she has been a huge member of the attack, been playing really, really well, doing a great job on attack, and clearly, doesn't look like she's a freshman out there when she plays. She's really taking advantage. So we actually had an early draw on Nicole Danagelis, so now the Cal's going to take it up, with Takas bringing it in.
Yeah, and a drop ball. All right, so we have the two players from behind the net.
And shot just wide.
So we got Lavi is on the left-hand side of the net, and Humphrey is on the right. Humphrey is playing lefty.
So just like you'd said, Chloe, and we have Lavi is the main assister. She's only had one goal on the season, but a lot of assists. There's another shot, and it's going to go wide. So already 2 shots for Cal here. And like we were saying, Lavi has the ball now.
Yeah, and also something that is really impressive about Lavi is she is a freshman.
Shot. Score.
So that
already.
Takas right there with a behind the net pass, like we said, is going to happen all game. And so we're going to have to see how the Yale defense can adjust to these quick passes that are going to happen all day from behind the net.
And, it's actually good that they're going to see that early, so now they can really take the time to adjust. They see what they're going to expect now for the rest of the game, so it'll be good to kind of try and figure it out now early on.
Yeah, we saw in their home game against Dartmouth that they did adjust, and they really started playing behind the net, so these girls could not get their passes off. And something that is with Cal is the girls behind the net are not huge goal scorers. So if they get a lot of pressure on them, they're not going to want to take it to goal.
Absolutely. So Callie Parchman is coming up with the draw. She's going to kick it wide to Catherine Avalon, who's going to take it up the field. And another great thing we've been seeing about the Bulldogs now is Catherine's driving in. She's going to shoot, score!
Yes!
A beautiful goal
right
by
to
Catherine
goal.
Avalon, unassisted. She did a good job receiving the ball from Callie Parchman and just taking it in there.
She saw the opportunity that no one, they weren't really defending her. They were kind of waiting for the Bulldogs to set up, and Avalon took that opportunity to just keep going for goal and score.
So now it is tied 1-1 with only 28:46 on the clock. So 2 early goals right off the bat for both teams. And Cal, like we said before, just came off a win from Fairfield, so they've played a few teams out here while they've been out here.
We got Takas
And the draw is up.
Up to Takas again. She's also Cal's leading draw control. She gets she gets about 75% of their draws.
And the Bulldogs are applying strong pressure, trying to slow the ball down on that side. We're going to have a foul called on Devin Rhodes. A little bit of a push there, but good aggressive defense. And Cal's going to bring it in back behind the net to Lavi again. Looks for the pass. Isn't there.
Fleischacker is ready for, she gets called on the offside. So that's really unlucky. That was Fleischacker being aggressive. It did not look from here that her foot went over, but that is what the refs are calling it.
So Paige Gasparino, who hails from Darien, Connecticut.
Yep, my
Chloe
hometown.
knows
I
her.
played with her. She's awesome.
And Tarver's going to be pressuring that, force her to give it up. And we're seeing they're trying to set up the feed from below again.
So
same thing we saw.
So we have Walker and Parchman are going to be the 2 crease defenders. And they're going to be very huge in this game because, as we were saying, beautiful
Tarver came up with a
Tarver.
beautiful interception. We're going to see that a lot from her. She does it all the time. She really reads the ball well. And they're going to call on Gasparino a foul. So Tarver's going to have some space to take it up if she wants, but she's going to opt and try and kick it wide.
And
Humphrey's going to pick that up, get the call, so she's going to have some space here. I'm surprised she didn't kind of just try and let that go out of bounds, but.
we got a great double team
going for the drive
on.
shot wide by Paige Gasparino.
So that double team by Parchman and Cheryl really helped to stop that goal because she could not get a shot off. They were all over her shoulders.
Gasparino looking for another drive from the top. Shot and good save by Erin McMullen there.
And we got a beautiful ground ball by Avalon. She's going to take it up the field right now. No, she's looking so fast.
But Chloe, you're totally right. That's what we've been seeing, a good job by the Bulldogs. Really athletic. They've been in really good shape, working a lot on conditioning, and it's clearly showing in these transition plays.
Yeah, and their midfielders.
Feed from the top.
Their midfielders are really stepping up. Like Avalon is really stepping up her defense, which, she's obviously a great attacker, but she's really been getting those ground balls at the defense end and bringing them up a field. And really, we've always seen Doherty doing it, but we're getting more of Avalon now.
And a good job there by Fleischacker getting that ball. She's a scrappy player, really loves to try and steal the ball away and get those back checks on transition.
So unlike Cal's offense, we only have one girl behind the goal right now.
And shot off the post by Erin Magnuson.
We're doing a sort of a wheel attack. It's not always the same person behind the goal. We're kind of moving around cutters around the goal. We have 3 girls changing it up, as well as drives from the top.
Beautiful feed inside shot. Another shot off the post, but a great 1-2 there by Carrie Fleischacker and Devin Rhodes. And the Bulldogs are going to get the call.
And, you know, the Bulldogs are really moving the ball well right now, which is going to help us. They're having these cutters that are cutting from behind the crease, but we're also taking 1v1 drives from the top of the 8. So we are keeping Cal's defense on their toes right now.
Absolutely, Chloe. They look very dynamic. And Catherine Avalon goes for the bounce shot. It's going to go over the top. Mag's looking for something inside. Cal is quick to double here.
So one of the problems that looks like the Bulldogs are having is that sometimes these girls, like we just saw Flash Hacker, wanting to go in for that 1v1 drive, but because of the cutters, there's too many defenders inside the 8 right now. So the drives they're harder because there's people right there.
Again, looking for that feed inside. A good
Yeah.
job by the Bulldogs.
Yes,
and it's a quick
another
goal.
Avalon
A garbage goal there by Catherine Avalon.
Yeah.
Beautiful job picking those
Oh,
up.
let's hope she has a good game today. She's starting it off right with not only on attack, she's been playing great defense. This is really exciting.
But Chloe, you were definitely saying something interesting there right before Catherine Avalon just scored. It does seem like Cal is really packing it in, and it might be helpful for the Bulldogs. They're clearly looking inside and looking for feeds inside, but it might be helpful for them to try and back up and look for some drives and create space for themselves.
Yeah,
in the
because
8.
it looks like we just saw Flash Hacker drive, and she got past her first girl, but she couldn't keep going because there were cutters and their defenders inside the 8, and that doesn't help her. But I mean, it ended up working okay because we got a goal. Woo!
Especially with those quick collapses.
Yeah.
It's good to create space after you're spreading out so you can dump it far. And
dump it. We got
there's a long slide.
Mm-hmm.
So it is now 2-1. Yale is leading the pack with 23 minutes.
We've been pretty even on draw controls right now.
Nicole Janangels coming up with a beautiful draw control.
Beautiful. Right to herself. She has that height on Takis and just easily was able to get the ball.
They're going to give it to
But we got
Cal.
Aaron really hustling for that ball, trying to get it back, and she is really proving herself today in the midfield.
Really getting involved in the play, and that's what we love to see.
Yeah, and that's what the coaches were saying about. They really kind of told the team about being intense and, having a sense of urgency out on the field today compared to how they have been.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sense of urgency really seems like it's there, and definitely seems
really
like
does.
it's different from the Harvard game in ways.
Mm-hmm. I got goosebumps going on right now. I feel the urgency.
Catherine Avalon isolated with the drive.
Oh, and a great check by Arlone right there. Now, we're not getting to the ground ball, but she had a great check right as she was shooting.
And you can see Cal really spreading out the Yale defense, so long slides on Yale.
We got Takis at the top right now, going for the drive against Cheryl, pulling out.
And a good slide there by Cheryl.
A great double team by Catherine Cheryl.
A lot of movement for Cal. Doing a good job of moving around. With the drive inside, Gasparino shot over the top.
We're seeing a lot less cutters this time in this offensive set than we did in their last. They're actually a little more, they're moving the ball, but they're actually more static.
Which I definitely think is to the Bulldogs' advantage.
Oh, for sure. It's making the Bulldogs easier to come into these double teams.
So looking for this drive up top.
We got Chrisman right here, who is a sophomore and their second leading goal scorer. And she's really been proving herself this season. And from a lot of articles, the coaches are very happy with her.
And a great step by Callie Parchman.
All right, and that was, Parchman really anticipated that ball, and that was really athletic and beautiful.
Good defense by Cal there, but they're going to recover it. And the second time, though, that the Bulldogs on defense have come up with that interception, which are huge cause turnovers, really make the difference in games.
It looks like, I think that was a crease. I think that Cal was just in the crease, and that's why we were getting that.
So again, Catherine Avalon on transition. Seems to have a good matchup in Chrisman. We see the Bulldogs really focusing on trying to move up top, looking for the feeds from the top, just like Cal has been doing. But a lot more movement.
Yeah, we're have a lot of cutting from the top right now. Right now we have no one behind the net. So, all right, now we got a player behind the net. So we can get that overshot if it happens.
The Bulldogs also coming off a trip from Philadelphia over spring break. Where they and a shot and goal by Carrie Fleischacker, a beautiful drive, a quick shot from the outside, a really difficult angle there.
Yeah, that was a really difficult angle to shoot from, and she also had a double team on her, and that's the thing about Carrie, she will shoot, and she has a lot of belief in herself, and she gets these crazy goals that are so awesome. She really didn't have much of an angle there, but she got it in.
I don't think anyone was expecting that. It was just a quick shot, hard for the goalie to see as well.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. I mean, and she shot through. She had 2 girls on her, and it did not matter. And that's what we need today from all these attackers, like this urgency and this I'm going for it.
Absolutely, just holding each other more accountable. So it is now 3-1 Yale with 19 minutes left to go in the first half. Nicole Danangelis and Megan Takis are going to be taking the draw again. Both of them draw control specialists, really able to control where the draw is going. So both of them are leading for draw controls on their respective teams.
But Danangelis has a height advantage in this pair, so that's really going to help her if she can get it into the right space. So, yeah, here you can see that Takis definitely wanted it not to go above her because she knew that Danangelis would swipe it if that happened.
Great call, absolutely. Cal did a good job there of switching the field, getting it out of pressure, especially with this high-pressure transition defense that the Bulldogs have been applying.
So we got back to Cal's usual setup, 2 behind.
Similar to the Bulldogs, so the defense for Yale has seen this before in practice, something that they can be accustomed to. Looks for the drive, shot, beautiful goal there by Takis. Yeah. That was another low-angle shot.
Exactly.
Wasn't expecting that at all. I don't think Erin McMullen saw that one.
Yeah, and, Doherty really pushed her out on the 8 pretty well, and she was still able to get a low-angle shot off, and it was a very good shot.
Absolutely.
That was
beautiful placement. You can't do that much about that.
And Cal gave an isolation there, so Doherty was not able to have any help with the double team. She was all alone, and so she had Takis had a free range for that shot.
So it is now 3-2. Yale is still leading by 1 goal, and we have 18 minutes left to play.
So Takis is being very vocal on the draw circle right now, where she's telling her players where she thinks the ball is going to go, and I think that has a lot to do with her being a senior, and having confidence where she wants to put.
And Danangelis doing a great job. She adjusted to that last draw control, switched her position on the draw.
Because that Takis did not want it to go above her head because she knows that Danangelis can beat that.
And they're going to call it out of bounds on Ashley McCormick. But there's a little bit of discussion as to when the ball was out of bounds or what the foul call was. If there was one. Seems like both the referees called different things. And they're going to give it to Devin Rhodes. Or are they going to have a toss?
It's all mixed up on the lacrosse field today. Chaos. Oh, when we got it. The Bulldogs got it.
So Devin Rhodes is going to have it up top. And we've seen Devin Rhodes doing a really, overall had a good season. She's leading the team in goals. Ashley McCormick looking for that drive. They've set her up well. And a good job there by Cal
So
defense.
they're really, it looks like Yale's really trying to use these lefties. They had both
Erin Maggs with the shot.
McCormick and Fleischacker taking this lefty drive.
Cal comes up with it.
So that's Wackerly. Oh, and Fleischacker comes out of nowhere trying to get that check. She missed it, but she really is busting her butt.
Again, like every time before, we see Lavi behind the net looking for the feed, and then we see this.
We got Humphrey on the other side. It's been, but it's been a lot more of passes from Lavi on the left side than it has been from Humphrey.
They're going to call a charge there or a dangerous propel. Not quite sure, but the Bulldogs did a great job there of really
we had a double
collapsing.
team between Tarver and Cheryl, and it looked like Cheryl actually got a check, but it didn't. But we got the charge call.
We're seeing a quick collapse.
Oh, and that was a great leading pass by Tarver to Doherty. I did not know where she was passing it, but Doherty did, and that's just showing kind of the connection that the Bulldogs are really starting to have on the field and in the transition.
Absolutely, and we talk about, there's really only 2 seniors on the field for the Bulldogs. Shot, it's going to be saved by McGinnis.
That was a quick pass and shot. It just unlucky when it was a stick high shot. Oh, wow.
And they're not going to call anything on Magnuson.
That was some body to body.
But like we were saying, these Bulldogs are going to have a lot of experience playing together. They've now played together for several years. They're going to call a yellow card on Wackerly.
I thought that was pretty much a both kind of way thing.
I didn't really see Wackerly in that play very much. But
she was just like a bystander, but okay. So we got Takas with the ball, who also I thought it was Gasparino with the ball, but yeah, the refs are going to do what they want to do. So we got Dana Jealous trying to hunt her down.
But yeah, these Bulldogs are playing together for a long time. They're all pretty much going to play together for 2 to 3 years. So those kind of leading passes that we saw by Tarver and passes in transition are things that the Bulldogs can really use to their advantage.
So now that it looks like, Cal's really starting to do these drives from the top, and they're pretty static, and it's really helping the Bulldogs to be right there for the double teams. So we're getting some great help from the off-ball defenders.
Right, and like you were saying, even there on the opposite side, we have Catherine Sherrill down low. She's hedging all the way into the 8.
She's
really getting ready for the slide.
to help Callie. Callie just has to make sure that the girl doesn't roll on the inside, and then she's fine, and she'll have help there.
So when you look at that, you see at the top right of your screen, if you see a drive coming from that right side in, you see Catherine Sherrill down here getting ready to either intercept the pass or look at the slide. And the same thing is on every side of the defense for the Bulldogs.
Looks like Walker's getting a little more comfortable. She's getting closer to her attacker than she has been these past few minutes, and really trying to become more aggressive. Oh, that was...
But a beautiful job by Christina Doherty
really
there, making the decision to come out and try and cause that turnover. That's what we like to see, and that's the urgency that the coaches have really been trying to advocate here. And a drive inside, no one really closing to Takas too quickly there.
Yeah, there was no one on her body at all. She had a pretty free shot, but it went over, luckily. We had a great collapse there, even though that it does look like they're going to call shooting space. And that's, that's what gets frustrating with defenders is, you got to collapse, help your girl, but sometimes if you're not, a ref can call shooting space if you're not leading with your stick.
Right, it's an absolute trade-off. If you do hedge inside and look to kind of cheat and close.
That was awesome by Doherty.
Check by Christina Doherty.
Sorry, we just
She's
got
the
loud.
height.
Yeah,
she's got the long arms.
length, those long arms. She got her stick in there, and that is what we like to see. It's great when midfielders really get themselves in on defense. Yes, good. So Christina would be her hedge, but Gasparino's pulled her up a little bit, so it would have been harder for her to get that double.
Great defense by Tarver. She's one of the few people on the lacrosse field. A beautiful step.
That was great by Walker. Unlucky that she couldn't pick it up, but she definitely stopped the momentum of the attack.
Kate Walker is so aggressive on defense. She clearly anticipated there. Has been doing a really great job and has been a key role for the Bulldogs here. And a beautiful feed up top. Goal. We had the assist like we're going to see by Lavi. And that was to, I'm not quite sure who that was.
It looked like Humphrey, which it's hard to see. We'll see when they move away and we can get her number. I think that, that was Humphrey. We're really, it's hard to see from here.
But just a beautiful feed. Again, we've seen it before. We're going to see it again. The feed's inside.
It was to Humphrey. So she's usually the other one on the other side of the goal, and it looks like she came in for that pass and had a quick shot off.
So the score is now tied 3-3. Cal has just come back, responded to the Bulldogs' 3-1 lead with now 2 goals. So it's tied 3-3 with 12:40 to go in the first half. And it looks like they are switching up the draw control, Cal. So Burke is now taking the draw, it looks like. And again, we have Dan Angelis at the draw, come up with several key draw controls. And they're going to give it to Dan Angelis here.
She did a great job of switching fields, and let's see what Fleischhacker is going to do with it.
Clearly deciding to go to goal. Makes a good decision of pulling out.
Oh, good. But see, so Fleischhacker lost that ball there, but she was right back to where the ball is in play, trying to get that check, trying to get it back, trying to hustle. She does not give up easily.
Absolutely. And again, we see 4 players trying to hunt her down with a beautiful step by Kate Walker.
Walker, get the great interception of that. Loved it.
Cal came up with that, which is tough, but beautiful transition again by Callie Parchment.
So we see there the Bulldogs are really playing some tough transition defense. These girls are stick to stick with Cal, and they are ready to go.
Chrisman taking it in.
We had McCormick hedging back, so we were able to
with the shot. Erin McMullen does a good job there. I'm not sure if that hit the post or
now
not.
We have Doherty. That was a check by Doherty, and then she got tripped to the ground. So we'll see. Yes, good. We got that trip. All right. That's what I like to see, refs. I'm getting a little excited with this game. Sorry, guys. So it's back to Walker, and she switches fields.
So now Tarver.
Yeah, so now Tarver will take it up the field.
Good defense there by Burke. Tarver's going to get around her, though. We see her athleticism.
Now, Doherty's going to use her long legs and speed.
Doherty gets the call. Good calls by the refs here. Bulldogs now are just looking to kind of settle it and regain their composure after we're seeing a lot of back and forth, a lot of turnovers on both sides. But caused turnovers by the Bulldogs. Good job on transition, really hounding that ball down.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are stick to stick on transition, and if they're not able to get stick to stick, they're right behind them looking for the back check. You know, everyone plays a different game. It looks like Walker is more trying to be stick to stick and going for the interception, while Parchman trails her defenders a little bit, going for the back check. So then, when the girl does catch it, she's more in position to defend her back and not get behind her.
Yeah, that's a great point. Just kind of being able to recognize what each player is prone to doing. Like, for example, Carrie Fleischhacker, we see her. She has a few signature moves around the goal. And especially if you're on the other team, being able to recognize those on defense or on attack, you can really take advantage of your player or your mark. And a beautiful goal by Dana Jealous. That was just a beautiful, quick 1-2. Devin Rhodes to Nicole Danajealous. Danajealous coming around the goal. They created a little bit of a mismatch between their defenders.
Yeah, Danajealous had a little bit of a shoulder fake. It looked like she was going to roll in, and then she ended up rolling back out and caught her defender totally off guard, and she had a great angle and a great bounce shot.
So it is now 4-3. Yale is leading by 1 goal with 9 minutes left to go in the first half. We see Cal's just brought it in, really trying to stop the momentum here and respond with a quick goal like they have before. Yeah, Cal, when they took on Fairfield, was also back and forth like this. It was quick 1-2 all the way up until they came up away with the win. So they are quick to respond, something that Yale is really going to need to pay attention to here.
Yeah, so 2 of Yale's goals have been right off the draw. So our attack's doing a lot better with when it's mismatched. You know, like we need to try to make our actual attack more strong and get more goals off that, and not just get breakaways.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tarver's
now we do have a breakaway by Burke, but Tarver
shuts
slows
her
it down well.
So for the Cal, now for Cal we have Bryn Gasparino in the mix, who is sisters with Paige Gasparino and is a freshman. She just came in. She's the one driving right now.
So they both ended up going to Cal?
Yeah. Switching coasts.
And
great save.
Beautiful save by Erin McMullen there. A lot of high shots by Cal. Erin McMullen does a great job of dealing with high shots.
Yeah, high shots are a specialty. Even when they're off stick side, she really is good with the high ones.
Sort of another turnover by the Bulldogs, kind of uncharacteristic. There wasn't much pressure on either side there, but Catherine Sherrill is really going to work to get in. And a beautiful 1-2 play there.
Yeah, that was unlucky.
We had Lavi.
We had in a man down situation, and she did not have anyone on her body at all when Lavi took that shot.
Lavi with the goal, and Takis with the assist. So again, that 1-2. But usually we see it on the other side.
Yeah, usually it's Lavi assisting to Takis, and they
this is
flipped
Lavi's
it around a little
second goal of the season. And the score now is tied 4-4. Yale is tied with Cal. And there are 8 minutes left to go in the first half.
Yeah, and like as you were saying earlier, Chrissy, it seems like this game's a lot of like back and forth, goal on one end, goal on the other end, goal on one end. So the Bulldogs really need to try to get 2 or 3 goals in a row quickly before Cal gets back.
And these really do look like pretty similar teams. They have kind of matched speed-wise in the midfield, as well as, the draws have been seeming to go pretty back and forth. And the offense, when they do set it up, it is pretty similar. I think the Bulldogs are also trying to do something similar on attack, where they look for feeds from behind the crease up top.
Yeah, I think, Chrissy, one difference between the two teams is in their transition. Yale is defending more aggressively man-to-man, stick-to-stick, trying to get these interceptions, trying to get these back checks, while Cal is actually letting the original pass happen, and they're more about double teaming and creating the girl handling the ball to have kind of mayhem and get a check that way. So it's not as much going for the interceptions and the stick to stick. So both are causing trouble right now in the transition, although I do think that Yale right now is really the more aggressive defenders in the transition.
Being proactive about
being
causing
more.
those
They're
turnovers.
doing. I think they're causing more. We'll look at the stats in a second, but it looks like they're actually achieving the turnovers, while Cal is more just slowing our transition down, so we're not able to have a breakaway.
I completely agree with you there, Chloe. And one of the things is, hey, Cal's on the other side of the coast, so it's not like they can really scout them or know how they're going to match up because they don't play the same teams. So we're seeing two totally different teams, and it must be kind of refreshing for Yale because they didn't have to kind of scout or think about who else they've played. It's just they get to play their game here today. And I think that's important for them, especially coming off of Harvard, to really be able to do what they want to do and put in what they want to, especially before coming into Princeton and the rest of the Ivy League.
Very good point.
So, like I said, if you're just tuning in, it is 4-4. The Yale Bulldogs are taking on the Cal Golden Bears, and there's about 8 minutes left to go in this first half. A timeout was just called after Cal responded, causing the tie. And they're going to switch back to Takis. So she's going to be matched up with Nicole Danagelis again. Cal coming up with it, Alexa Roselle on that draw control. They're going to give it to Catherine Sherrill, so the Bulldogs are going to get it in transition. Danagelis wide open in the midfield, looking for the quick transition up the field.
Then if we can get that second pass going.
Fleischacker is going to get it behind the goal.
Oh, and interception by goalie. Sometimes you got to remember that when you're behind the net, that you have this huge goalie stick in front of you too when you're trying to pass it in to the inside.
That's always tough, and something a lot of times goalies tend to bait if they know that's coming from behind. They can really
went for that check and missed it, and so we saw there. Luckily, people were able to get back for her, but she kept running through, and that's how when you go for that check, sometimes that is what happens. If you keep running, the girl that you're defending has that quick pivot and a breakaway.
And definitely a tough decision. Something that we've always worked on in practice before is sort of breaking down your feet and not trying to leap for it unless you're really sure that you're going to get it. We have Chrisman coming in. Decides not to go to goal there. Gasparino with it up top. We see the muddle on the far side as they look for the feed in from Cutters. But Yale really doing a good job of matching up with these Cutters. They've been stick to stick for most of the game.
So we have an isolation, it looks like, for Gasparino and Talker.
And a good job by the Yale defense of really being aware of the slide, but also their own Cutters.
Yeah.
It's a hard task to be able to see both.
Gasparino and Takis are trying to pick their defenders off each other and be able to go for a one-on-one, but Yale is communicating and shutting it down.
And a shot and save there by Erin McMullen. But Cal comes back up with it. That's an important play for the Bulldogs, really, to try and get those garbage 50-50 balls that are around in the 8.
Cheryl really pushed Takis out, which was really good. Push her down. She had no angle at all.
Tarver is always just playing solid defense there.
Oh. Now we got to get that 50-50 ball. Okay, good. Oh, so we had a trip on Aberlone, it looks like, which is, yeah.
So they put Catherine Cheryl behind.
Cheryl. It looks like that was a shooting space
Giving
call.
Giving it to Takis, which is always a little bit dangerous. She's got that hash. She's going in for the shot. Goal. Good goal there by Takis. Quick off that hash, and Erin McMullen doesn't quite get there. So now it is 5-4 Cal with 5 minutes left to go in the first half.
So that's a call that's really unlucky, and especially when you play the defense that Yale plays with, really being there, really doubling, you're going to get these shooting space calls, which are frustrating for all the players involved.
But yeah, Chloe, you're absolutely right. It's definitely a trade-off between sort of deciding to be proactive and really go for those slides early and staying on your girl and risking the chance that your teammate gets beaten.
Yeah, you just have to be extremely, extremely aware off ball so as that you can help your teammate but not get a 8-meter call.
So Takis and Dana Jealous back on the draw control.
We got it up in the air, so hopefully Dana Jealous, yep. She has that height. If that ball goes up in the air, she is going to get it.
It's a great point, and she's clearly been doing a good job of that. Bulldogs getting it around to get settled before they set something up. Kara Fleischhacker, again, the signature move.
She takes it out, patient.
A good decision there by Fleischhacker. I think that's something she's gotten a lot better at, is deciding to not go for the shot if she doesn't have a great
It looks
angle.
like the Bulldogs, we had a timeout pretty recently. It looks like they're trying to really slow the ball down a little bit and possess. They want to go for the careful goals so they don't have to get back in a transition and get off balance.
Which is something that can kind of work against the Bulldogs, because sometimes when they focus so much on possession, and we've talked about this before,
they lose the urgency. And
exactly.
like that, we saw them really coming out urgent, going for goal. But what happens is at first goals, they went right in. And then when you start missing some, you get worried about wanting to possess. And if you're not careful, you lose a sense of urgency.
Right, absolutely. Dan Jealous with a quick shot. Bulldogs are there to back it up. But I do think some of the best goals and what they should really focus on more of is trying to get goals off transition and man down situations, because they are really fast and they can take advantage of that speed that they've acquired. Beautiful
Great
movement
draw
inside.
Jump. Oh, that's unlucky.
But like you were saying,
they're trying. It looks like they're really just getting things moving. And yes, yeah, oh, that was
a great try by Dan
great
Jealous there.
Cut, a great see by Fleischhacker. That was awesome. It just got unlucky at the end with finishing it off.
And it's tough there if she can kind of fake high and then go down low, but didn't have much space to do it. So
we
it's a
really
tough play there.
Watch. Oh, we got wide open. So number 16 is Millick. She is their top defender. She's their senior defender, and that's who, the goalie really looks for the transitions we've been seeing. And unluckily, she was left wide open there and made it a little too easy for Cal to bring it up.
But still high pressure here by the Bulldogs. They have not jumped back to the 8 and the 12 like we've seen in a lot of years past. They're really coming out on their players and pushing and really trying to force some turnovers.
Yeah, I think especially when you only have 2 minutes left, you really want to just go kind of get right on them until you really have to settle into your defense, because you never know if you can get a turnover and get it right back down their throats.
And definitely try to make it tied at halftime before the Bulldogs get back into the locker room.
Oh, we're going to have a man
Another
down.
yellow card.
Yeah, Catherine Ireland. It looked like she just nicked her head a little bit, totally by accident, just a slip with trying to defend her. Very unlucky.
But we have seen so far in the season a lot of yellow cards for the Bulldogs. Something to think about. A beautiful feed inside to Alexa Roselle, just over the top.
Yeah, Tarver was right on her stick, and but she still was able to almost get it in.
Played with Alexa Roselle in high school, and she just has a fire shot, something you don't see that much of. Really powerful and really accurate. Great back check there by Christina Doherty.
And we got Parchment hedged in to get her stick in front as well. That was a great collapse by the Bulldogs.
A lot of shifty moves there by Burke. Beautiful save by Erin McMullen.
Really coming out to play today. She has been on her saves, and she's, the Cal's shooting a lot of high shots, and that is McMullen's specialty. So she is really performing today.
And when Erin McMullen is on, she's just unstoppable. She's played a really key role in the Bulldogs' defense for several years now.
So we had Kelly and Cheryl there, who's a freshman. Came in for that drive, got a good drive, but did take a high-to-high shot.
We have 33 seconds left to go in this first half. Cal looking for a quick goal and a quick transition.
That was a great catch.
Ooh. And we have a shot score with 23 seconds left in this first half. That is just a killer for the Bulldogs, something that always they try and avoid.
Yeah,
really.
Cal really worked that transition there, and the Yale Bulldogs defense was not set up, was not ready, and McMullen had a goal right in front of her face with no defender.
Cal did a good job there of quickly transitioning that. Now it is 6-4. Cal is up by 2 goals with 23 seconds left to go in that first half. Definitely a tough break for the Bulldogs. We have some substitutions. Devin Rhodes is going back out. Again, Dana Jealous with the draw control. Devin Rhodes is looking to drive before the last 15 seconds. A bounce shot. They've got 10 seconds left to go. A beautiful pass and shot with 4 seconds left to go. We had
really good for the Bulldogs, so that only down by 1 going into this next half.
Anna Elise Morello with a beautiful assist to Devin Rhodes.
So she's a freshman. She's been in the mix this year on attack, getting in, playing a little bit more and more slowly, and she's really proving herself like she just did.
Just a great response there by the Bulldogs. We have 4 seconds left to go. The score is 6-5, Cal leading by 1. And a quick response there by the Bulldogs.
And that really shows a sense of urgency. They only had a minute left. They had to get things done so they can set themselves off for the next quarter.
Exactly. That's exactly what we want to see more of. Another call early by Dana Jealous. So
that was she's calling on how she's going up about the draw. The refs are being very big sticklers on how Dan Angelis is drawing. That was a nice pass to McMullen. Little catch to end the half.
So if you're just joining us, I'm Chrissy Chapman here with Chloe Drimmel. The score is 6-5. Cal is up by 1. It's been a back and forth first half. And
very even. It's been, sometimes the Bulldogs are looking like they're a lot better. Sometimes Cal's looking better, and it's quite an even match right now. Even though it is 6, Cal is leading by 1. It's been a even match and a very exciting game.
Right. Bulldogs definitely doing I think, better job on the draw controls than Cal. Dan Angelis really getting those.
Dan Angelis is killing it.
A few too many turnovers, I'd say, on the Bulldogs side, but they're also doing a good job in transition on defense to try and cause those turnovers. So we will be back in about 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a bit. Good afternoon, Yale Lacrosse fans, and welcome. It's now the second half. It's a beautiful day at Reese Stadium where the Yale Bulldogs are taking on the Cal Golden Bears. Yale has just come up with the first draw control, as you see Tarver on the far side of your screen. And the score is 6-5. Cal's leading by 1, but it's been a back-and-forth game.
Oh, great drive by Magnuson. She got unlucky, got a little tip check in there.
And we've actually seen a pretty evenly matched up game so far. As I said, it's been going back and forth. Ground balls for the Golden Bears has been 7. Bulldogs ground balls has been 10. We have caused turnovers for the Golden Bears to be 2. Bulldogs turnovers caused has been 3. So, again, pretty even.
Oh, great. So, as I talked about a little earlier, the Bulldogs are trying to play man-to-man defense, especially in transition, and Tarver was right on her shoulder, right for that check, and she's getting called a foul against her, which is really unlucky for leaning over her shoulder. So it's trying to find that in the middle to make the refs happy and not call on her.
And it looks to be Alexa Roselle with the ball. Another sort of delay. Seen this before between the referees trying to figure out what's going on.
So during this delay, for the Bulldogs fans out here, we can talk about 2 o'clock. We have our boys, the hockey boys, are playing against Minnesota. Pretty excited for this. Is the start of the NCAA tournament, or not we're in the mix of the NCAA tournament, so it's pretty exciting. That's happening at 2 right now.
So it looks like they just kicked that off. We'll keep you updated with that as the game goes on.
Yeah, there's a viewing party in Payne Whitney with free kettle corn popcorn.
Oh, man.
Yep, thank you, the Yale Athletics. And then also Maury's is having a happy hour, and they're also screening it. So lots of places to watch, whether you're 21 or you're under 21.
If you're listening to this and on the Yale campus, stop doing homework, get over there.
Or come here.
Or that.
But go to a sporting outing.
It's a beautiful day. You get a tan.
We're still in delay, it looks like, so.
A lot of people, like we said, coming off of spring break. Chloe looking pretty tan, just got back from Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's some people in the audience. There's this girl in brunettes in the audience that are very, very tan in front of us. Sadly, the camera is not zooming in on them. But so it looks like the coaches are talking with the refs about the play.
And everyone in the field is just going to bring it in and get in little team huddles, get themselves fired up. But it looks like the Bulldogs are pretty loose out there, and that's what we like to see, getting excited, getting fired up. Tarver dancing in the circle. It's always a good thing.
It looks like she was reenacting what she did because she didn't do anything but somehow got a call.
And we're still not really quite sure what's going on. But there's some deliberation at the scorekeeping table.
It's like we got Kevin Everlone doing some weird stretches on the field, some yoga poses. Look at that. Look.
And Chloe, you're quite the avid yoga.
The clock isn't working. There we go. This is what's happening. Our scoreboard is being faulty here at Reese Stadium, and that is why we have this major delay coming on right now.
And another thing you guys are going to get to look forward to on Yale All Access is it's actually not working right now, but we are going to have some
instant replay coming up in next week. Woo, woo, stole it from Ingalls Hockey, the Whale, now that they're done playing games there.
So we're really excited about that. You'll get to see all the great things that the Bulldogs are doing on the fields 2 times.
So much fun. And we can do slow-mo. I don't know if we'll use that, though, because that might get complicated.
And it's back up and working. The refs are back on the field,
clock
so we will
is
stop
back.
talking.
won't just be your only entertainment anymore. You'll get to see something happening on the field. So let's hope that that the Bulldogs, both teams, will see how they're adjusting after this little lapse for 2 minutes. Hopefully they still have their heads in the game and won't have too many drop balls, etc.
So Alexa Roselle is going to take it now. She's got some space ahead of her. There are 28 minutes left to go in the second half. The score is 6-5. Cal is leading by 1. Been a back and forth game so far. So don't be surprised if Yale comes in with a quick goal again to respond. We've had a lot of nice new renovations up here in the press box. Shout out to Sam Rubin for putting a great platform up here so everyone can see when it gets crowded.
Yeah,
It'll definitely be useful.
We got some great cameramen here today, a great producer. We're really
Just a
loving
beautiful
life.
day.
So there we had another great double team.
Cal really looking for the drive here, a little bit different than what we've seen, but
Yeah,
back
but
to
Cal's
the-
only really able to get these drives when they go into isolation because we are so good at double teaming. So they really need to like set up something for Gasparino or Takis. Ooh, that's going to get dangerous propelling. Yeah. For
Kate Walker blocked
Kate
that.
Walker.
Kate Walker, and I was talking about this during halftime, but she has played such a prominent role. She's a freshman. She comes out with so much confidence, really aggressive. You know, she's got the height, and I really think she's played a really important part in this
She just
defense.
blocked a shot with her body. Caused a yellow card for Takis. Took the best player out of the game for a little bit. That is awesome for the Bulldogs. Let's use it to our advantage.
So now they're up here, so they're going to want to kind of take as much time as they can to really get a great goal. Some serious speed there by Kate Walker, beating everyone
Walker
down
is
the field.
going for it.
Oh,
And that was amazing. She just took that. She used her speed. She has the confidence level, and that's definitely does not always happen for a freshman. And she took it down the field, and she really helped the Bulldogs transition because they're the Cal's a little off.
I'd love to see her get a goal here while she's up here. We've seen Annalise Morello with her first career point of the season on the last goal there, so congratulations.
Oh, wow.
We're seeing a man-up situation.
Great defensive move by Pelletier. She had a interception, blocked the ball down.
Which is particularly hard and shouldn't happen to the Bulldogs when they're man up.
Sometimes, though, Chrissy, it's almost easier in man up because you do go into this sort of zone. So you're kind of starting to forget about the man-to-man defense and just working on those interceptions because that's all you have, you know?
Yeah, that's
you're
interesting.
zoning it.
Coming up with the turnover.
We got Chrisman, who as we said, is our second highest goal scorer, sophomore, midfielder.
In a man-up situation here, you're going to see some doubling by the Bulldogs. They try and create this turnover.
Let's see if Tarver can.
Roselle on the play. Here comes Catherine Shale for the double.
And now it looks like, yes, that was a great turnover. And that was all because of Cheryl and Tarver putting pressure. And, you know, even if she was able to get that pass off to Humphrey, who she was trying to get it to, Callie was right there for the interception.
That was just, you're totally right, a textbut double team.
Double team, what you
they
want.
They broke down their feet.
She could only see Humphrey, who was clearly guarded by Parchment. So now Cal's going behind the goal right there on Fleischacker, which is an interesting move defensively, trying to shut down Fleischacker.
– Coach Phillips now talking to Erin Magnuson.
So the time actually just went off, so I'm curious if the refs are going to call it again. But the scoreboard currently is not working, but the refs are continuing. Oh, no, we see that Coach Phillips is starting to get angry because there is no scoreboard or timer, which is very much necessary, especially with the fact that there's a penalty.
But the score is still 6-5. The yellow card is over, so it's now man-to-man again. And it's great to see Lauren Wackerly back out there. She's been having a little bit of a nagging injury, so she's back on the field.
Ooh.
Here we're seeing the Bulldogs trying to set something up, it looks like.
Also looks like they're really trying to have possession and really take the smart drive.
Here comes Devin Rhodes
yes.
with the drive. A beautiful shot.
That was a great shot. She, that was a very hard angle, and she had a great bounce shot, and that is what we like to see.
And that's just a signature shot there and drive by Devin Rhodes. She does a great job of pulling, and she has this pull dodge where she pulls her stick across her face, is able to use her body to protect, and then still get the shot off right in front of her.
And she shoots. So even though she shoots off stick.
Yeah, absolutely, and is able to use her body to protect, so she doesn't have to. So she's not checked, and she's still able to kind of maneuver a great angle there. So good job by Devin Rhodes. The score is now tied 6-6, although we don't have the clock, so we can't tell you the time. But there are 23:52 is what we're being told. Another delay as they try and get it back.
Because of the clock. It's going to be interesting if they can get the clock off, if they should just go on with the game, and maybe they'll bring out a old school clock from the basement or something, so the players are somewhat aware of the time.
And there is 1 minute left in the first period of the Yale-Minnesota hockey game, and the score is tied there as well, 0-0. Okay. So it might actually count up. I could be wrong about that. Takis back on the field after her yellow card. It's going to be important for the Bulldogs to really slow her down here.
And DeAngelis looks like she's going, so that was an empty stick check against DeAngelis, so she will have possession of it.
She just owns that circle.
Yeah. Well, if you're just focusing on going for the ball and not going for the empty stick check, that's how you're going to get it, and that's what DeAngelis is doing. Chrisman with that check there.
Really nice check.
Great check, but she couldn't pick up the ball, and that's what you need, that 1-2, not just the one. Ooh. So that was a good drawn dump from Doherty to Fleischacker, but Fleischacker looks like she tripped trying to do a move.
We've seen a few more turnovers here by the Yale attack in this half than we saw in the last half, so they're going to need to kind of close that off and look to have that sense of urgency that we had in the first half.
Yeah, and really, great check by Flashacker. That was a over-the-shoulder call. Unlucky, but at least it did. So the thing is, like, even though yes, she's behind her, it slowed down the play. The defenders were able to see where they needed to get to. They could kind of like talk.
Callie Parchman stepping out a little bit farther on her, trying to apply that pressure so she can't get an easy feed off inside. And a good crease roll inside, but a good save by Erin McMullen. Another high shot. Erin McMullen is able to stop it. She's going to...
Yeah, the Cal attackers both on... So Humphrey just... And Levy's doing the same thing, but pulling their defenders far up so they can get that roll in the inside. So then once they get that roll, they're golden. There will be no slide, no double team.
And Erin Magnuson's going to get an illegal check, a yellow card, another yellow card, this time on Chrisman, so the second leading scorer for Cal. Another big loss.
Yeah, and it's even, she's the second leading goal scorer, but she's also a huge part of the midfield. She's very feisty on the transitions, going for the checks, and is a solid defender.
So again, another man-up situation for the Bulldogs. You're going to see them really spread out, try and create long slides for Cal, and get some opportunities inside feeding the ball.
Oh, McCormick gets through that double team, but gets tripped in the end. She does not get a call on her. That was an amazing check by Fleischacker. She got around her so she could get that check without getting the over-the-shoulder call, and that was a great adjustment coming from her foul before that.
Absolutely. That's a total game changer right there. Carrie Fleischacker, great job on transition. But again, Bulldogs here need to take care of the ball, really make sure that they have the right shot because they are man-ups. They can take advantage of it.
And Fleischacker is going to get this 8-meter shot. It looks like they're going to give it. Yep. So she's at center hash, 8-meter shot. Great positioning. If she could use it for her advantage.
She could also even look to Devin coming around, curling inside, but she's not. She's going to take it. It's going to be deflected wide. And that was a little bit of a lucky break there. They're going to give it to Dan DeGelis. A huge following of Cal parents now. It looks about half and half for supporters here.
Yeah, Cal's just...
Looks like they give it back to Cal. To Gasparino.
But the double team's right on them. We're getting a triple with McCormick coming in, Doherty coming in. Parchman was right on her stick as on the Luckily, Devin was able to get into Parchman's position with that girl, so she could still slow down the transition.
But you can see all these Yale midfielders are packed in, Yale attackers and midfielders, they're packed in behind the half line, and really they just completely slowed down that transition, did a great job, which is where Cal has had some goals.
Cheryl is trying to attack Takis, who is bringing the ball down the field. We got a yellow card from Cheryl. She was over the shoulder swinging.
But that's a tough call again. I mean, I think it's more important for the Bulldogs to really be aggressive on these transitions and really trying to create turnovers on these transitions. So I think it's a good decision by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's just trying to get the foul instead of the yellow card,
So if you're joining us
right now we are man down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unluckily.
If you're joining us here, it's 6-6 tie. There's 18 minutes left to go in the second half.
But one thing about the Bulldogs is they've really shown up to when we are man down when the Bulldogs are man down on defense. They are very good at zoning and usually can get the ball back. It's just harder being it makes the transition a lot harder with the man down.
And it's actually interesting. Cal has been, on their defensive transition, they've been doubling Aaron McMullen. So they've been doubling the keeper and creating a situation where the Bulldogs are up a couple numbers in the midfield. So they have the open players and can take advantage of that and really push the ball in transition.
So right now, the clock is basically back and working. They're just trying to get the time right, and the clock's moving down when it shouldn't be right now. So right now, again, we have to pause the game because of technical malfunction. Technology these days, you know, it's great to have, but it can be a killer when it doesn't work. Right, Chrissy? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you. I'm best friends with the Yale Tech people because my computer breaks every other day. So I feel that. But
Yeah.
Chloe is quite the camera. We had a few technical difficulties earlier with the cameras, and Chloe did a really great job. She's quite the expert on that front. She makes documentaries for fun. All right. Well,
no, I don't. I make them
she
for our
thinks
class.
about or talks about making them for fun. She has her own show as well, so if you're ever interested in what's going on the Yale campus on the
Living Chaotically, YouTube it.
there you go.
We interview athletes.
You hear it firsthand from Chloe.
I have my co-anchor. His name is Nick Daffin, who is a football player or a retired football player now at Yale, seeing as he's washed up senior like both Chrissy and I.
So who have you?
Yeah, it just got a lot colder. Everyone looks colder.
What?
Just got a lot colder. Well, I'll leave right after this. Are you gonna go to the tailgate?
No.
Yeah. I'll go next week for alumni.
Alumni, yeah. Does everyone be here? It's Friday too, which is so weird. It feels like Saturday.
I'm so happy it's not Saturday. I'm gonna try to do work all day tomorrow.
No, I have to read shit. I don't even know. I have to submit my title for my senior essay today. I have no idea what I'm writing on.
I have to write a pilot.
Have you finished your novella?
Yeah, it's 200 pages.
Is it your senior project?
What? Yeah, it's my senior thesis. So yeah, I gave it to my advisor on Monday. How does it end?
Yeah. You told me about it, so.
It ends like, what did I tell you? She does. I was gonna have one of the women die, but you don't know if she dies or not. But I mean, it just ends with the girl that has like a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Finally, like talking to her father for the first time in like 4 years.
Okay.
That's how it ends. And I don't know if that's like how it's gonna end. I want my like advisor's opinion.
What's the difference between a novella as a little novel? You're on.
You guys.
Hello.